In the building, back in the building, man. Y'all welcome me back, man. I was out last week, man, but last week was a very good show because you know what I'm saying. I had my guys in the building holding it down for me. So y'all already know if you're hearing my voice, then you already know that you want to hear that boy Patton, man, aka the streets, aka the mailman, aka
Activated.
definitely activated it. Definitely, you know what I'm saying? And y'all know, man, if you're hearing his voice, and you're definitely hearing the voice of Killer Cal in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to give us an applause.
Salute.
Thank y'all guys, man, for holding it down last week, man, in my absence. And y'all already know we had a guest in the building, man. And the guest was so good, man, we had to bring him back another time, man. The brother, Dr. Larry Payton in the building, man.
Encore.
Warm in 1, 2, 3.
Hey, you know
that boy ain't gonna let it down, man.
Hey, one thing for sure, man. Like I said, they said it was a great show last weekend. I tuned in a little bit, man, and I was able to catch a few things. Y'all actually went way over the time limit what we normally do. So I said, man, I know that was a good show. So even me personally, I'm gonna be going back to check out some incentives in that show as well. But man, there's a lot of Texas news been going on, y'all. You know, we 2 days from the draft. Like finally, I was just telling the guys, I said, man, hey, this show right here, I said, man, I'm gonna be like the devil's advocate, man. Like I am so like ready for this draft like process to be over and done with, so I can kind of know what direction we going with the team. I know it's gonna be exciting. That's one thing I'm anticipating. I know that these players that are gonna come into the organization, I know we gonna love them. And hopefully, I mean, I don't see this being a disappointing thing where we coming back talking to y'all on Friday and we like, oh no, man, we can't believe they took this person and took that person. That's just not how things been working around here. When you have a competent team with a competent GM, a competent owner, competent head coach, new OC, that's going to be a lot of fun things that go on in this draft. I think for a lot of us fans, we're going to really get to see the direction of this team. I said it on the show before that I believe that this draft will show us what kind of offense and, you know, because it's really this to me, and I don't know, I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all can speak on this too, but I kind of feel like this is an offensive draft for some reason. You know, sometimes before you go into a draft, you kind of, you know where your team is going. You know where your team is. You know where they are as far as the position that they're in. And it just seems like this is about to be an offensive draft. You know, we've been talking about the offensive line a whole lot. Running backs, wide receivers. Just seems like it's going to be an offensive draft, man. What do y'all guys think?
Ooh. Let me go and get out the gate, man. Hey, we're leaving the first round with 2 picks. 2 picks, all right?
Okay. Hey, I've been hearing that, Patton, man, and that's got me excited too. And they say it's a lot of people in the NFL are saying that the Texans are going to be like busy trading up or whatever. So, what do you think that they trading up for, Patton? Like, what do you think?
Hey, I'm just here to start some shit today. Man, we're leaving the first round with 2 linemen. And a goal.
Okay. And earlier when you said that, my brother, you said that if that actually was to happen, that you wouldn't be too fond of that. And you care to share why you wouldn't?
So if that happens, that means Matthew Golden has been snatched up. I got us trade up to number 17. If that happens, that means Golden had to go maybe 10 through 14 or 10 through 16. And I got him going to the Cowboys. I just got a feeling that his son's going to draft Matthew Golden. No other receiver, in my personal opinion, is worth the first round pick. And if Golden's not there, if you trade up, you're going to have to trade up to get Banks as a left tackle. You got Cam Robinson there. Let him sit behind Cam, let him play sparingly, but he's going to learn a lot. from
Hold on,
Cat.
did you say what not to cut you off, but did you say what I think you said? Did you say that there's no other wide receiver worth the first round?
I heard the same thing.
Yeah, that was kind of confusing. So you hold on now. No
I
other, you
think
don't think there's no other wide receiver in the NFL draft in 2025 this year that deserves a first round pick? So you
Teams are going to reach on T Mac from Arizona.
yeah.
The other guy was Emeka Ibuka. I don't have a
What
first
about
round.
Burden?
Luther Burden.
I feel like Burden may slide down. Character issues are going to play a lot. The NFL is kind of sliding to they letting the YNs in. All right, Burden is under that cloth of a YN. I like Burden. We all like Burden, but I just feel like by him having character issues already out the gate, that's going to push me into the second round, which will be good for a team like us if we do decide to go 2 linemen in the first round.
Yeah, that's interesting. Luther Burden is actually my favorite player in the draft that the Texans could get. Of course, I love Travis Hunter, but that's not even an option for the Texans. But Luther
Not
Burden,
even.
the third, had such a great year last year when he had a decent quarterback. This year, we could see his play dip a bit, but the skills are still there. I don't know what the character concerns are, but regardless,
T.O.ish.
okay, that's he a touchdown maker, so I'm not concerned about that. And D'Amico is an alpha head coach, and the swarm mentality can really get a guy like that on board.
I believe so too, man. I believe that once you come into the Texans organization, one of the strongest things about our team is that locker room. We've always used to say that we had a crazy kind of culture when it came to the Texans that even us as fans sometimes didn't kind of jail with all the time. It just seemed like they was trying to get a whole lot of choir boys over there on Kirby. And now we seeing that that's not happening. Even though those guys are, they religious, they strong in their religious beliefs, but it's still a football locker room. And those guys are jailed together to a certain point where I just don't think that any kind of player can come in and break that. We seen what happened with Deontay Johnson. Come in and as good as you think that you are, if you can't jail with the team, then we getting you up out of here quick.
Now, wait. Now, barring, let's say we draft Luther Vandross in the first round, right? Let's say we draft Vandross, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you get until you get into the building. It's one thing to talk to him, have these meetings, team visit and things of that nature. But once you've selected this person, he's in your building, and he has to mingle with the other players. Then you're gonna know, okay, will it work? A guy like Deontay Johnson, we knew what was going on. We knew what we were getting coming into that, right? It don't hurt you to let him go. It don't hurt you.
We thought that we would actually be able to change him. I remember that saying like, okay, he was having problems here, problems there. Y'all bring him here, this locker room, but we seen the locker room kind of chewed him up and spit him out. Pause, but in a sense of like, hey, bro, we not even playing. We not even trying to get you to buy in. If you can't come in and just buy in, then hey, we not gonna work with you. And I think just real quick, a lot of the times when the Texans have people, and quick shout out to Houston Stressings too, man. But a lot of times when, what I'm saying, these players come in for these visits, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the times we get to see what these guys are made of, and even though I know that, what was it like last year? I don't even know if we take our full 30 visits. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know if we bring in that many people, but the people that we bring in, it doesn't seem like, I mean, it's not a for sure pick all of the time, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they do their homework.
It's a high percentage though. A lot of the guys we bring in, though it's like 30 of them, a lot of those guys end up getting drafted by us. We end up drafting them, so it's a high percentage of that.
Mm-hmm. So did we visit with what's the name last year, Fisher, before we drafted him? Was he one of our visits? He was a top
Everybody we drafted last year they came here on a visit.
Okay, so yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's a high. It's high. It's very high.
That does make Golden a possibility. Let me read this from Stresses. It says, I believe they are fine with potential non-swarm guys in free agency, but not the draft. A lot less invested in free agency versus a guy you draft, in my opinion. And good point by Pat and free agent more proven. Yeah, most definitely, man. Larry Payton. What's the name? Luther is my guy. Okay. It's a only guys we hold on, let me bring that up. The only guys we visited were Lassiter, Bullock, and Stover. Yes, yeah, see, a lot of the times we don't take all of those. We don't take a lot of those visits, but we took some this year. They say, I think their top 4 choices are Golden, Banks, Booker, or Donovan Jackson. Donovan Jackson is a tackle, right?
Yeah, he guard tackle.
Okay. So let me ask y'all this question right here before we get into the draft. I want to talk about a little bit about the press conference that we've seen happen a couple of days ago. Is that and forgive me for asking because I should have been paying more attention, but I know we in April. Is this the OTAs?
Voluntary.
Yeah, just volunteer. Yeah.
Okay, I figured that this is when the team first comes in. So what was peculiar to me about that whole situation is the Will Anderson part of the interview when he was asked about speed and what did speed bring to the team. He was real hesitant, bro. Somebody please explain to me, what did he mean? Like, what was going on? I think I have a feeling, but I want to ask y'all before I put in my opinion. What do y'all think that was about?
Honestly, I don't think he knows speed, and if he does, I don't think he probably can gather is he talked so much smack previous offseason about the team. So for him to be here now, it's kind of like, what the hell? That's what I think.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Not putting too much into it, but that's not off the top of that.
Yeah, I just think it's a guy that he never met. Just been on Will played against him 4 times. So, and both of them play defense. So they're not on the field at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So he don't know much about it. And
Will solid, man, bro. That means Will is super solid. He can't even fake the phone. he had to keep it real because that's what it looked like, Cal, right? Like it kind of seemed like he was on some like, hey, I'm not finna just talk to just be saying stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the crazy part, I didn't see that part. I know they said that when they asked him, it was just like a long pause.
Yeah, bro, paused and was like, he ended up saying he was a great player, but he had to squeeze it out, bro. Like it was like pulling teeth. He didn't. It's almost like he didn't want to say it, and he kept looking over to his right, laughing. I don't know who was standing over there, but bro, like, I
think it's one of those situations that he just really don't know who the guy is.
And he keeping it real.
Right. He don't know who he is. And, because it's easy. You can ask me, hey, man, how you feel about the new acquisition of Larry Payton? Oh, man, he's a good, solid guy, man. I heard great things about him. Good locker room guy, practice hard. I'm quite sure he's going to buy into the swarm mentality, and we'll be happy to have him in. See, those are talking points. Yeah. But like you said, hey, I don't know this nigga, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I promise. It was almost like Will was on some like, hey, this I on the cool. Like he really was just talking crazy. Like, and then he over here, and we understand that, but it's gonna take a little getting used to. Like, we ain't just gonna just straight
and
up.
See, Will is the leader of the defensive locker room.
Yep.
So that's his locker room. That's with day one when they came in. CJ got the offense, Will got the defense. So I'm quite sure he gonna really get a chance to know EJ real quick.
real quick, man. I know him talking about rankings though. That was pretty much what you expected. He's super excited about having rankings back. He was like, man, that's the dude who kind of got him crunk and got him into the mode where he was as a rookie. And he just glad to have rankings back, which I'm glad to also.
Right.
I mean, when we first signed him, I guess somebody who would just be a casual will be looking at this, and of course, yeah, it just looked like we just picking him up off the streets, and he was injured in Cincinnati. But you got to realize the reason he signed with Cincinnati last year is because of
he balled out. He balled out with us
against them. Yeah, so just because he
had against them.
And against them, they pulled the Houston Texans. That's what I call a Houston Texans move. When you sign that player that kick your ass, like Lamar Miller that time. Like we only signed Lamar Miller because he ran for 150, 180 yards on us.
Nah, it was like 223 or something. It was a ridiculous day.
Hey, that day was ridiculous, bro.
I remember Bob McNair saying, "Yeah, we had to get it because." All we could see was the back of his jersey running into the end zone.
Hey, I'm talking, man, that was crazy, man. But hey, man, draft man, Patton.
Can
man,
you fellas hear me?
Yeah. No. Hold on. Who said what?
Can you hear me, Nitty?
Yeah, but your picture not moving. It looked like you got a still shot up there.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
froze.
All right, let me drop out and come back.
Okay.
Hey, while we hit on defensive tackles, I'm gonna ask draft guard something really, really quick, and I know he'll know everything about this guy. Man, the name has been thrown around a lot, and I said that next year, D'Amico is going to go and get a defensive tackle very high in the draft, possibly two.
Okay.
And somebody said, well, hell, why not this year? D'Amico leads the draft with people that he wants. And the name that was bounced around is one of your guys. And his name is Kenneth Grant. I need you to chop up some game about Kenneth Grant and why he'll be a good fit for the Texans.
I wore the wrong shirt today. I should have put that shirt on. Okay, so real quick, let's say we draft him, right? Your starting D tackles is him and Sheldon Rankins. Nobody in the NFL can run on that because he's going to command a double team every fucking play. Sheldon Rankins most of the times commands double team because we had Rankins the first year. Rankins was commanded the double team, and Malik Collins had the one-on-one.
Right.
It's only 5 linemen. It's only so much the center can do going this way or going that way. You know what I'm saying? Now, my guys are powerhouse, man. That first step is very, very aggressive. It's dangerous. Now, I'm going to be honest. He don't take plays off, but sometimes he pops up. He's very, very tall, like 6'7", 6'6". Sometimes he pops up.
They got him. They got him 6'4", 331.
He's bigger than that.
He is? Okay.
He's a mammoth. He's a Willie Mammoth, bro. Like I said, he's one of them guys, man. He's not gonna wow you with 10 sacks a season, but he's gonna have a bunch of TFL. He's gonna be one of those guys that allow the linebackers to flow when blitzing, and we don't really blitz like that. So imagine, you know what I'm saying? But
so let me ask you something.
True one technique.
Yeah,
he's a true one.
Mm-hmm.
So we get him. You say him and Rankins is the deal, so we don't even go and offer a contract to Fatukasi, right?
No. If you get him, you don't need to get Fatukasi. And if you were to get Fatukasi, now you're just being greedy.
Yeah, there's too many linemen on the roster at that point.
So who's a better lineman out of Fatukasi and Mario?
Ooh. Fatukasi, if the defense is predicated on stopping the run first, then I would go with Fatukasi. When you on pass rush situational, then you go Rio.
Yeah, Fatukasi is what you would call Tim Duncan. He's a fundamental. Like you put him there because you know he's gonna do his job each and every time. If you just need him to run, block, and just take up 2 linemen, he's gonna
That's all
do
he
that
do.
every single play. The same.
Look,
That's just what he's gonna do. But if, like you say, with
occasionally he'll
Patton,
get a tackle. Occasionally he'll get a tackle. He'll stick an arm or stop somebody. But guys like that, they don't have high stats because they're too busy clogging up the middle.
his head just down, just going boom.
Yeah, that's it. Now,
He in about 80 car wrecks a game.
let me say this. My boy Grant gonna push the pocket more than Fadakowski is, though. I guarantee.
Okay.
Now, and mind you, Grant played with Graham. Graham is the top D tackle coming into this draft.
Right. I had him pulled up.
Not
But
Graham.
I'm just saying to get your best 3. Like if I draft Grant, just say D'Amico goes in because people are convinced that this is D'Amico team. So we could say we want a lineman, we want a wide receiver. If D'Amico says no, I'm gonna get, and they got him slated to be a mid first round pick. If they go
first round, day 2 automatically.
So if okay, now that's one of those situations that they'll be playing by ear. But what I'm getting back to the point of, if you draft Grant and you got Rankin and you get Fadakasi, like what you're doing is you got guys that can plug the middle, and you know that your edge in my 2 edge rushers, that they're going to be able to run, like roam free. Like we're going to plug the middle, roam free, and then
one-on-ones all day.
And then this is what I love about the way the defense is setting up. And I want Larry to hit on this. I thought about it today when and I didn't see the press conference and everybody was talking about EJ Speed. But I'm gonna tell you, man, I am so excited to see EJ Speed and Christian Harris on the field at the same time. That is a fast linebacking duo that should be able to go sideline to sideline on any play. And if you got 2 guys in the middle that's plugging up the middle, those guys should be able to clean up everything.
No, I totally agree with that.
Well, Cal, I don't think those 2 guys are going to be on the field together unless there's injury. D'Amico has shown down the stretch that he trusts Henry To'oTo'o. And of course, Aziz is his guy at the Mike backer. So playing 2 linebackers, those 2 guys you mentioned, and there's a lot of anticipation and true ability in Christian Harris, but he has been injured. If he can stay healthy and on the field, then he deserves to be a starter, but he has not shown that he can stay healthy. So until that time, I see Henry and Aziz being the starters.
EJ Speed is a better pass defender than Aziz and To'oTo'o. That's why I say, like, on a package, a 3rd down package, if you're running a 4-2-5, I can see you having those 2 speedy linebackers out there, because they can cover a lot of ground in that hook zone.
Mm-hmm.
They drop back in coverages very well. And they really don't get lost.
They would probably be in, like Larry said, like it sounds like a package. Like you might have to put them in a special package to have them in to act like on a 3rd down, like what you're saying.
3rd down package, yeah.
But I do like what you said at first though, Cal. Like if it wasn't for that post that the Texans just put up the other day where they were talking about the roll tide players that they actually have on the roster, that was controversial in itself because Mechie wasn't on there. Cam Robinson, these guys are from Alabama. These are roll tide guys, and you don't put them on there. I was waiting for a part 2 to the post, right? I was like, okay, maybe that was just part 1, and they're gonna do a part 2, and they're gonna put the other players. Let's speak about the good part of the controversy. The good part is that Christian Harris was up there. And up until that point, we were all wondering, like, what was up with, is he good? Because, when we signed EJ, there was another thing to make us think, like, damn, is Christian out the door? Like,
Was that a Texan post?
no, a lot. I mean, there was actually a Houston Texans post that
Okay,
said,
hey, check this out, Nitty. You know this, y'all hip hop fans. If they excluded Cam and you said Cam and Metchie,
yeah,
hey, back when T.I. greatest album, he had a song called Motivation. Better get on your job, player. Better get on your job, player. That should be motivation for both of them guys, man.
Yeah.
Like you not putting me on this. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna show you. I deserve to be on every poster that y'all gonna put out. So that's motivation, man.
It's weird though, right? Like it's
yeah, it's weird.
You would think, like, come on, these guys are actually Alabama. Did they start at Alabama and go somewhere else? Like, what? These the only guys that graduated? Like, what was this post trying to tell us, bro?
Hey, let me shoot towards some Bill real quick. In past coverage, he wasn't as bad. He was always there, always there. He just had that Kareem Jackson syndrome. Couldn't turn his head around. If he was able to
he
get
got
his
hit
head
in the
around,
back of the head a
lot of times. And he's all the thing is Tua, and shout out to AD because I know he they gotta catch that fade at some point. But Tua was always there. He's always there. You know what I'm saying? Like a half a step behind. He's always there. He just can't get his head turned around. Now, I feel like you signed EJ Speed because he is very, very versatile when it comes to coverage. Now, he had a lot of tackles last year, but your linebacker is going to have a lot of tackles when the D-line ain't worth a damn. And Indy had a very, very sore D-line.
What's the dude named Grugier Hill?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me reminiscent of how his season was. Who was the other guy? The other linebacker who we had from Green Bay?
No, we had Christian
Kirksey.
Yeah, Kirksey had a year like that, bro, where he had 100 and some tackles, and it was because
the D-line, like, come on, the same shit from Petrie had rookie year. Petrie had 100.
You said it. Hold on, man. Let me get... You said that because I promise I was just about to say that. A lot of us don't like to admit that Petrie's all those tackles that he got that year, it wasn't like, come on, like some Ray Lewis kind of tackles. These were tackles that he was having to make because the you know what I'm saying, a person broke down the field.
Every play.
Yeah.
Ain't no way in the hell my safety should be averaging 11 tackles a game. And he's out the box. He's in the back end. Something's going on.
Yeah, Cunningham had a year like that too. I think he led the NFL in tackles. Cunningham, yeah.
Cunningham was a weird individual, bro. Like I could never understand, was he good or was he not good? He got hurt a lot too, though, but he made some good plays for us, but he just wasn't consistent. That's what made me frustrated.
I'll never forget. I was in the mailman, and we played the Giants. The Giants came here, and the tight end is now with the Jaguars. Ingram told his ass all game. Like all game. And I'll never forget that Monday he come trotting to the mailbox with his chest out. I said, man, get your ass out of here, bro. You ain't get no mail today, bro.
Well, one thing happened was the Texans and Romeo Crennel were late to adapt to the NFL. They were still running that Bill Parcells big linebacker when the rest of the league had already shifted to 220-pound linebackers.
Right.
And look at Zach Cunningham was 6'4", 230. Roderick McKinney was 6'5", 260.
Right.
They are middle linebackers having to cover, so that was not conducive to the new NFL.
They were saying McKinney name. I got McKinney, bro. Like, oh my goodness, I don't even understand what McKinney was, bro. Like McKinney was like
he was a
man on the field. Like he seemed like if you just went behind him and say, "Hey, what you do is you shoot that gap right there, and that's all you do." Like it's he didn't.
He was a black Brian Cushing.
Bro did
Yeah,
not have instincts on the field at all, though. It's just
yeah.
seemed like
He was a '80s '90s linebacker. He was a downhill thumper.
yeah, if he were, you're right. He'd have played in the '80s or the '90s. He'd have
Yeah.
been off the chain, but no, the league had already passed that type of style of a linebacker by the
Yeah.
They
time
were good when they were matched up well. Remember, we had a dominant D line with Vince Wilfork and JJ and Clowney that were kicking butt up front.
Right. Yeah.
So those
And he was
big
cleaning up
guys,
on the back end.
yeah,
right?
it looked
Those
like he
big
was
guys.
having a good year then. Yeah, it looked like he was.
It
That's the
looked
year
like
that fooled us. Yeah,
Right.
it definitely fooled us, man.
he left here went to Miami and never heard of again.
But back to what y'all was saying about the linebacking core, I think it's going to be
These
very
guys get the same
interesting.
contracts. So.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be very.
EJ is brought in honestly as an insurance policy, bro. If Harris is healthy, if Harris can go through the whole mini camp, training camp, preseason, and is available week 1, I don't know if EJ makes his team 53. I don't know.
But they paid him though. See, this the thing.
They keep him around because Christian will get hurt no matter what.
They paid him like somebody who may have to contribute. No, it's not a lot of money, but it's money like not like somebody who they just paying to sit like how they did your boy. Golly, man, I wanted them to bring him back. The guy from Tampa Bay,
Devin White.
Devin White. Yeah, see, Devin White when he came in, what they paid him $3 million, $4 million, something like that.
Not much.
Oh, he was making a minimum.
Yeah, but you look at it, what they gave Speed, and I think that's 8, right?
No,
I thought it was 1 year, $5 million.
Oh, it's 5. It's the incentives. Yeah. With incentives, though, he can get
incentives. He can get up to 8. Yeah.
So I think you don't do that unless you think that you may be now. If you asking me right now, who would I rather have on the field if I had to make the choice? A healthy Christian Harris or EJ Speed? I'm gonna go with Christian Harris just because he's already down with the home team. But hey, we'll see in training camp though, man. You know what I'm saying? What that boy EJ brings to the table, because he's gonna be playing with an extra chip on his shoulder. Not only is he coming to a locker room where naturally you have to prove yourself, but now I think he it's a little extra to it now because bro, you used to talk noise. So we really want to see if you bite it. Like he gonna have to prove himself to the locker room for those
he signed a 1 year 3.5.
3.5? Oh yeah,
3.5? Oh yeah, that's yeah.
That's very minimal. That's
what you call that contract is basically saying like, hey, if Christian ain't taking care of his business, or you know what I'm saying, he happens to get injured during the year, you just gonna have to step in. Yeah, that's not saying that we thinking
insurance policy, like Patton said, he is there to make the linebacker room add to the depth. He can play special teams as well, and he can provide some coverage if needed. I wouldn't doubt that D'Amico will have some packages for him, especially if we got to go face KC again the way that Kelsey torched us in the playoffs. It wouldn't hurt to have another person out there that could make it more difficult on him.
Exactly.
Because GJ ain't the answer to Travis Kelsey. He too small.
You don't think so?
No,
I think
this dude, you like 5'9". This dude can't deal with Kelsey. Kelsey gonna box that dude out.
Hey, what we all fail to realize is Kelsey's a year older, a year slower. It ain't gonna take much.
No, I honestly don't feel like we dealing with the same Kelsey 3 years ago. And not only that, I just think you probably have to bracket them, which will make it more of effectiveness to the bracketness, if that makes any sense. Is that if you have CJ, I'm gonna start calling him CD, man.
No, CD, bro, because that CJ, EJ, nah, bro, CD.
Yeah, I'm gonna start calling him CD.
Like he said, on 8.
Yeah. So, hey, that was cold. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, bro. For bro to do that to Mechie like that, bro, like to get punked on national TV like that, bro. I don't know if that's disrespect. I do want to touch on that though. Pause. What do y'all think about that though? Like, that's for shit.
It's not disrespectful, bro. You ain't did shit to earn that number.
But you don't say that out in front of everybody, do you? Hey, shout out
okay.
Willie, man.
He don't say that if Mechie was out here getting 8 to 10 touchdowns, giving me 700 to 800 yards of receiving every year. That means he's robbed. Mitch ain't did. I can't get that shit with Mitch on Madden. So, like, come on now.
No, that's the truth though. He literally, the way he said it was like you ought to know. Like, bro, come on,
he should have cussed him out some more. He should have cut. He should have maxed him out. After the press conference, went in the locker room, maxed him out, bro. Give me that. You ain't earned it.
Alan
my thing is when you coming into a locker room that you've never been a part of, you don't know. Like, we looking at Mechie production and all that other shit, but Mechie has a connection with a lot of guys in that locker room because of what he's been through. So you can come in and start rubbing people the wrong way. And, people start to have like, you letting your reputation precede you in a negative fashion.
Yeah.
So I'm like with Nitty, like if that's how you felt, that's cool. Keep that shit to yourself. But to get out there and do it on your first press conference with the Texans, you just really shitting on a guy that people been cheering for the last 2 years. So when you do that shit, like, people in the locker room gonna be looking at you like, nah, when you come in and produce, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But if Mechie make the team, if I'm like Mechie, I don't give a fuck how much money you giving me. Nah, fuck you. I ain't giving up my number.
Yeah, just because of that.
Just because of that. Like, if you would have told me, hey, yeah, this, that, and this, yeah, cool. But just because of your attitude, I could be the 6th wide receiver. I don't give a damn, man.
Man, Brandon is crazy. Brandon say staff through Mechie the jersey. Mechie fumbled it. Defense recovered.
Hey, I ain't depending on neither one of those players. CJ Gardner Johnson is a decent player, but because of who he played with over the last 2 years and the success, that's why he is who he is.
So you don't really hold on. You're gonna have to really elaborate on this one right here. What makes you feel that way about CD? What makes you feel like he's just a regular? What you wouldn't even say above average?
I think he is above just a guy. He's a solid football player, but he is not. All this talk that he's getting is more about him and the swag that he brings. He never backs down. He competes, but we're not adding a Pro Bowler. We're not adding an all-pro safety. We're adding a guy that has some scheme versatility and that could be a good addition to the swarm mentality that we already have. But I'm not expecting him to, put us over the top on defense. He fills a hole on defense. I'd much rather have him out there than Eric Murray and Jimmy Ward at this point in his career. But I'm not expecting this guy to be a high level player. He's just a guy that's on the roster right now that fills a hole. So we don't need to really look for a immediate contributor in the secondary in this draft.
So do you think Jimmy Ward's a better player than CD?
Jimmy Ward has had a better career, and at this time of his career compared to Johnson, he was much better because Jimmy Ward could actually guard receivers outside and in the slot. So, but Jimmy Ward was also a higher drafted player. I believe he was a late first rounder. C.D. Johnson was a late day 2 or day 3 draft pick. So he was just a guy in New Orleans, in my opinion. And to the earlier point, he competes, and he's not going to be a liability out there. But I don't see him as this playmaker that's going to come turn our team around. Like, we just got the honey badger back in 2019.
Look at what Brandon says. Brandon says, and he's about to play with some dogs again. I totally agree with that, Brandon. So should we get another good CD? If you know, you did say it was because of who he played with out there. Now he coming here where some guys where we looked at is probably going to be one of the best defenses in the league, no doubt. You don't think that you know, he has a career year here? I mean, last year what he had 6 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
If he can catch the ball, he gonna have some picks because of the D line we have here. I mean, look at how many interceptions our DBs dropped last year. If he can hold on to the ball, sure, he can have some interceptions, but I don't, put that up there high in his play. So there's another player that got paid in free agency. He's a new Indianapolis Colts. The guy that came from Minnesota, he had a career year with interceptions, and I can't think of his last name, but he had a decent game against the Texans as well.
He was
But
horrible in coverage, though.
he is not a very good player. He just played with some dogs on defense and actually benefited from him. So
what's that look of concern on your face, Cal? It looks like you kind of.
Oh yeah, because I'm research Cal today, but Jimmy Ward got 10 career interceptions. CJ got 2 years in Philly. In 2022, he had 6. Went to Detroit, got 1. Came back to Philly and had 6. He's going to be playing with 2 of the best cornerbacks in the league. A young Kalen Bullock that he can school on the field. I don't think that Jimmy Ward is even in his in the same breath of CJ. I don't think he's in the same breath. Jimmy
You
Ward
mean
got
right now, or
no.
in
I'm talking about I'm talking about in his career. Like I'm talking about going to get the ball. Like yeah, I mean missing the ball, dropping interceptions. But he's shown on 2 different occasions. Like it's hard to get. Like the 5 interception threshold is hard to get. He got it twice. You playing against 2 corners that's going to be very shut down, and you got a ball hawking rookie guy in Bullock that's going to go get the ball. And now you got 2 guys just playing, you know, they can both play double high, but CJ can come down in the box and just kind of be just as versatile as Petrie. I think you can see a better year with CJ this year than we ever seen before. I think Jimmy Ward is not as a safety. Jimmy Ward is so damn slow. That's the part I don't like about Jimmy. He's slow. He's a blind missile that will blow up the whole spot and hurt his own teammates. Like I just like Jimmy Ward. Like I understand that it's a D'Amico type of guy, but he's been off the field more than he's been on the field. And when he's on the field, he's more of a trailer than a cover guy. And I think that it's going to be, I'm going to tell you something. That's going to be one to cut. Listen to me right now. This is being recorded. That's going to be a contract that it wouldn't surprise me at the final 53 that Jimmy Ward don't make this team.
And that's not surprising. Maybe I was misunderstood. I'm not saying that Jimmy Ward is better than Johnson right now. I'm saying in his career, he was a better player. Jimmy Ward is like in year 12 or 13. He got in the league in 2013. The guy's career has been better. We got him on the back end, and D'Amico has him on the roster just to be a locker room guy. His contributions on the field will not be missed. I just don't see CJ GJ being that type of player that he is claiming and that some of our fans think he'll be.
Well, another thing too, though.
Just my opinion.
Another thing I think we are overlooking. When have we had a player this boisterous?
DJ Swearinger.
Well, he didn't have a resume to back it up. He wasn't that good or as versatile as I would say. But the guy Ward is how can I say? Ward is a little longer in the tooth right now, and
Yes.
he's better in the box than he would be in the back end. Or when you got with CD, he's better in the back end, and he's also good in the box. But you have Petrie in the box, so the need to have CD in the box is not void. You won't need him for that. So honestly, overall, it's really a good problem to have. You rather have more than what you need and not enough. And we going into the season, knock on wood, our back end will be fully healthy, and we can finally have a no-fly zone.
Yes, he's a plus starter. I wasn't trying to say that Jimmy Ward should play over him. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying
And
that
honestly,
Jimmy
you keep Ward as a mentor along with CD to mentor Kalen. And I also believe we might end up drafting a safety. If we don't get a corner in this draft, we might end up drafting a safety. So
I don't need Gardner Johnson to mentor anything. I just need him to play well. Bullock could be just fine if he can get some angles figured out on making tackles. But
no, the mentor part of it is Larry being out there on the field and seeing the angles that Bullock is missing, and you having a guy in live motion on the field, not the coaches in the box, not the coaches on the sideline, but being able to just walk over here and tell him, "Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you something. When he does this and does that release, man, don't bite on that shit." That's the mentoring part that he brings to the table. Because he sees the field very clear. To get two seasons with 6 interceptions, he sees the field very, very.
Underestimating the player, but I don't see him as this football savant back there. I see him as a guy that plays fine and has the stats that you mentioned. I'm not going to deny him those stats.
Oh, you talking about Bullock?
No, he's talking about Johnson.
Oh, CD. What I see, CD is along with all 4 of the defensive backs. They all are ball hogs. There's not too many times where you can have in a secondary where everybody is a ball hog. Even when you look at Petrie in his little 10-yard zone that he's gonna be responsible.
He's a ball hog.
It's hawking on that ball too, bro. And it's like, man, it's about to be crazy, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. If this line, which we already know this line is gonna come together, we know what this line is. Man, this secondary it could be crazy if the linebacking core gets it together. It's really on the cool, and it's crazy to say, but right now, I remember when it was a consensus that it was the secondary that was the weak link of the defense. Then it was at a point in time, like when we lost JJ, that it was the line. The line wouldn't get no penetration. Well, right now we know for a fact that that's the linebacking core is the weak link of this defense. And the only reason why I'm saying it's a weak link is because we don't know exactly how it's going to form, how it's going to come together yet. We don't know exactly who the starters are. We can guess and say, well, we know Aziz is going to start, but according to everybody else's position, we don't know for a fact who's going to start in those positions. But man, that as far as that line and that secondary go, bro, it's about to be a crazy defense, man. And
I was thinking today, Nitty, and it's interesting that you brought that up. When you said that how you had ball hawk and you have hitters, headhunters, you know what this defense can be a very better version of, and we champion that damn defense, and they had a nickname. Like, this defense can have the nickname of no fly zone. Like, you're not throwing the ball on this. They have that opportunity. But you remember that the Seattle Seahawks?
Oh yeah.
And they had the Legion of Boom, and they had them 4 guys in the secondary, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it was hard. It was hard to get anything on them guys, man.
Yep. This is when they had Browner, when Browner was still a part of the squad.
Now listen, Browner was the Browner was the weak link though.
I know, but Browner was still when they had Browner, even though they still I think Browner only won one Super Bowl with him. He left.
They only won one Super Bowl.
They only won one.
Hold on, they only won
Right.
one.
Yeah, they lost
right,
on the
bro.
last
It's
play.
crazy to think about. No, but look, I'm still in my mind thinking like that was the third one that they lost.
Yeah.
But you're right, bro. They
But
only
when you
won
look at
one
it,
Super
there was
Bowl.
Browner,
Sherman, Chancellor,
Sherman, Chancellor, and Earl. Those four guys was like they had distinctive personalities, and it was like you didn't want to, they bought down the boom. But I think this is the no-fly zone where I think that you're not going to be able to pass on that secondary, man.
Man, and somebody who I think we don't talk enough about. We know he out there. We proud of what he did last year as a rookie, but I just think we should give him a little shine. Kamari Lassiter, man.
Oh yeah.
Kamari, like when you put the magnifying glass on dude is like really a technician at what he does. And just seeing him doing the practice reps that he's already doing in the off season and stuff. Just
with
look at
CD.
him. Yeah, with CD, it's like you looking at this dude like, bro, this is crazy. Like we really got two shutdown corners, and I'm not talking about it's almost gonna be like, oh, you got one and you got two. It's gonna be like 1A and 1B, like, and it's crazy, bro, how good Kamari has the opportunity to actually be. And the question I want to ask y'all, when we drafted him, did y'all expect this? Like, cause a lot of us was thinking like, hey, he's gonna be a nickel. Did y'all expect him to do what he did on the outside? Like,
Throw that one to Larry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Pat can go first, and Larry go next.
Two
I'm
things.
interested.
Two things. When I evaluate corners, the first thing I go to is production. He had no production. When I say production, how many interceptions you got, right? Turnovers. He had none. So as I'm looking at I looked at the stats before I looked at the film. So okay, he doesn't get many interceptions. He doesn't have any interceptions. As I watched the film, he's very hands-on, right? He's in your hip pocket the whole way. Now the 40 speed was horrible, it's trash. But the game speed is totally different, which also made me realize, okay, I can't judge this guy that hard because I want my ideal. My cornerbacks have to be in your hip pocket. If not in your hip pocket, somewhere around the ball, we can either turn it over or knock it down. This guy knocked everything down. Now in college, he had opportunities to where he could catch the interceptions, but he always would drop them. Very, 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 very shut down. Now, did I think what he did as a rookie past year? No. I felt like, okay, Sting's gonna follow the number one guy. He's gonna end up with a guy that's faster than him. And all it's gonna take is a guy, quick move, the field, run a 9 route, run past him. This year it happened, but he stayed with those guys that ran a 9 routes on him, and he picked the ball off most of the time. It got to the point to where teams were not throwing his way and started throwing on Stingy's side, which was kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, one of the best quarterbacks in the league and not pick on the rookie. So for me, he over exceeded my expectations of him. Like by none, like man, out of the park.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, that's a real good breakdown, and in a similar fashion, his 40 time concerned me. I wanted speed at that position, not only because we didn't have any at corner, but overall team speed. So that 40 time is why I was disappointed in the selection. But what I saw out of him was the tenacity, the tackling, the all-around football player that I knew he would be. But I did not see him performing at a high level like he did. He caught everything that came to him. I don't remember him dropping any interceptions.
That's the crazy thing, because in college he had brick hands, and we talked about it on the show. We was like, bro, it's probably gonna drop a lot of interceptions, and it seemed like he had like glue on his hands. He didn't drop nothing. I agree with you on that, Larry.
Yeah, and I'm not going to call him a shutdown corner, but he is where he needs to be. He's exceeded expectations, like Patton said, and is a wonderful pick that can continue to grow. And I believe if we need him, he can play in the slot like he did a couple games and be a high contributor there as
Larry,
well.
Larry, let me ask you this: did you see his numbers? Like, and I know sometimes we don't go by these PFF grades all the time, but sometimes they make sense. Did you see his numbers were up there with the top? Like him and Stingley almost had the same numbers, and
They're the best cornerback duo in the NFL.
in the NFL. So when you say he's not a shutdown corner, what do you mean? Like what is a shutdown corner to you, and what did you see from a player that in his rookie season? And this is his rookie season in the NFL. What did you see from him that would make you say he's not a shutdown corner? Is it because he is a rookie, or just that?
I'm glad you asked. Shutdown corner to me is Derek Stingley, where I'm going to put him up against number one receivers, and I don't even worry about giving him no help. So Jettis, Chase, CD, I ain't putting Kamari over on them dudes unless I got to.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's what I mean when I say
Oh, it's the
shut.
rookie part. It's the trust ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying?
No. It's not the rookie part. He ain't Stingley. We can see there's a huge gap between him and Stingley. Now he can close that gap by being around him and learning more, being in the film room with a defensive genius like D'Amico, learning from their DB coach and other vets, and getting Jonathan Joseph in training camp to learn from. Yes, I can see him closing the gap a little bit. We see what a shutdown corner is in Stingley.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, I'm waiting on Cal to come back. It's on Cal.
So he is well positioned, and I agree with the duo. I am very comfortable with the duo, but it's just after that where I would like to see us add a young corner to the roster that has speed and length, pause, to be able to uh, develop.
So, what you think, Cal, about what I'm saying, the performance of Kamari Lassiter in his what? And I know you got some points to make, but let's start off at the part about him being a shutdown corner. Would you
Uh,
give him that now, or would you say how would you look at that?
I think that title of shutdown is it's something that's thrown around that's like uh when you put it out there, it's like, yeah, you can if you throw to my side, I'm gonna shut everything down. Well, we know Kamara runs a 4.6. He's not fast. He if you like we seen Stingley be down the field 30 yards and make plays. I think if Lassiter had to turn, break hips, and accelerate, that's gonna be a problem for him. But when you think about Richard Sherman wasn't considered a quote unquote shutdown, but you really didn't want to throw to his side because they know how to use him. They use him in zone purposes. So
Mm-hmm.
he was more like a cover two corner, and he covered that 1/4 side of the field, and he did it very well. And I think he's a better tackler than Richard Sherman. So he comes in with physicality. He can come and tackle the running backs out of the backfield. The tight ends come in on out patterns. He makes tackles. He don't miss many tackles. And he's a good box cornerback within playing 5 yards off the line and going back as far as 15 yards. The thing about with Stingley is you can trust Stingley to have a guy that's over the top, and that guy over the top, Stingley, he can cheat,
Mm-hmm.
and Stingley can make recovery and go and get the ball. That's why I think that CJGJ is going to be so instrumental because you're not going to even want to throw to that side. I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna pick on Kamari and they're gonna pick on Bullet side a whole lot because they're not one. They're gonna go to the 2 second-year players than to go to these two guys that are great ball hawks.
Mhm.
So, do I think that Locksmith is a lockdown corner? No, he's not a lockdown corner because you can take a lockdown corner and you can travel him across the field. That's what we was talking about last year. Hey man, D'Amico needs to make them make Stingley travel. That's a
Mhm.
lockdown corner. And if you throw to my side, we shutting everything down over here. So, but his numbers are great numbers. So he did what he was supposed to do as a rookie, and I only expect him to get better.
Exactly. I think that that's what's going to happen. I don't think he should have that title yet, but
Mhm.
kind of do put it on the fact that he's a rookie and him being a rookie. I think you have to garner trust because we done seen a lot of people do things in one year. Sauce Gardner, for instance, looked like he was lights out his first year in the league, and now he ain't nowhere near what people was trying to say who was the best out of him and Stingley. Now it's like no question who the better corner is. But other than that, oh yeah, we want to speak on the fact that Thursday we're gonna be making an appearance at Dave and Buster's with the 713 Houston Sports with Ruben them up there, man. So definitely want to give them guys a shout out. And
Yes,
y'all
sir.
come check us out in the building, man. We're gonna be in the building for the draft. First round, you know what I'm saying? And even though we way down at pick 25, it's gonna be fun to see how the draft shakes out because those be the picks, man, especially when you get down into those 20s. Um, i.e. what happened with Kansas City last year because I didn't know if Worthy was gonna end up being that good, but he actually ended up being pretty good, man. So
Mhm.
hopefully, man, we can find us a first round diamond, or hopefully we don't trade out. Hopefully it's some fun, like they've been saying as far as the rumors and everything that we may get trade up into the first and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, like Patton said, though, when you think about our team, man, if you think about just our team last year, just fully healthy,
mhm.
uh, and just a quick answer from all of y'all. If we healthy with Diggs and Dale, y'all think we can beat Kansas City in the second round?
Cut it out.
I think
Huh?
so. Yeah, we didn't have enough playmakers on the field, so I would say yeah. We we
Right,
we definitely didn't have too many options. All we had was Joe Mixon and
That's it.
Nico, and that's it.
right.
And they took
So,
Nico out of the game and took Joe. What Joe did his thing in that second quarter going into the half. But
when we watch Baltimore in the AFC Championship game, once again, competent offense, a great defense. I think we had enough to beat Baltimore. Like if we stayed healthy and Bobby didn't crap in his pants, like we had enough. So when Patton says that, what if we come out of the first round uh with the two linemen? Here's the thing about Nick. If Nick think that those guys will put us over the top to get us there, don't be surprised what the Texans do. Because
exactly,
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like never in the history of the NFL draft that I can ever remember a team having a number two pick and that quarterback was like off the charts. Like it was him and Bryce Young. And so we got CJ. And then we have the quote unquote generational talent. I don't think no other team throughout the history of I've ever watched the draft that said, you know what, we're gonna move back up and get him too.
hmm
So when it comes to Nick Casario, I don't know what that guy gonna do, bro.
hey,
I
ain't
have
no,
absolutely no idea. And everybody that's talking about we gonna draft this and draft that, man, the Texans don't talk about nothing that they're gonna do. So man, it would be interesting because like I said, here's the comparison of here's the analogy that I had. Y'all just bought $180,000 Maybach, and y'all start driving it down the street, but y'all don't have insurance.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the dumbest thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
CJ is your Maybach. So his insurance policy is to protect him with the tried to do with that first iteration of offensive linemen that he tried. Tunsil, first round pick, free trade, Kenyon Green, first round pick, Juice, second round pick, uh Titus,
Mason.
first round pick, Mason, free agent, Super Bowl. Like he tried to create an insurance policy for um his young Maybach that he just went and purchased.
Mm-hmm.
So if Patton said that, don't be surprised if they come out of here with two first linemen in the first round. Like that shit wouldn't surprise me with Tricky Nicky. Nicky would do some shit like that, bro.
That's what I say.
Here,
What makes the draft process so fun, especially this year, is when you have a new OC and you know that they gonna want they guys and people who run this type of thing, like how they do it, and us letting go Laramie Tunsil like that. You know that it's definitely gonna be a lineman drafted. Two
Oh
in a
yeah.
row. We'll
Hmm.
see, because if it ends up lining up like that, man, because that's what Nick has been saying too. It all depends on how the draft lines up and people who they got on their board, who they look at as being good. So, hey, it might be one of them drafts where the fans be like, boo, but
Yeah.
the players, I mean the people who really know, we sitting on the sideline like, yeah, this is the time to have one of those boring drafts, bro, because the team is already kind of built to a certain point. But even like I say, it being a new OC, we really don't know exactly what's about to happen. But we do know that it's some musical chairs about to be going on that offensive line.
Yeah, with the two draft guys that I respect. This is the reason why, and I said it last week. I was excited to get Larry on last week, and I pushed to get him on pre-draft, and the invitation is extended post-draft. So, because I really enjoy, his commentary. So this is going to go out to Pat and the doc. What pick in the first round that we get, you will say, man, that was a plus. What player that you say that, hey, Nick pulled it out. I don't care if it's moving up in the draft or whatever, but this is the player that we need that's going to help us put us over the top. I want Larry to go first, and then draft guard go second.
oh, thank you, Cal. That is a good question. What would I do as a watcher of the team, a fan of the team, watch a few of these players that are high prospects? I said that Luther Burden is my guy. I like Luther Burden for what he brings offensively, what he could do in a pinch as a returner, just as a touchdown maker. It's a need, and we can't really count on Tank. But to your earlier point about protecting CJ and needing insurance for this particular quarterback, there is there are two players that I see us really winning with, and that is Kelvin Banks Jr. and also Josh Simmons. And the reason I say those two, because my philosophy is I would not draft a guard unless that's the missing piece of the whole organization in the first round. Now, what I
Mhm.
will do is take a tackle that can start off at guard and then go back outside. And so those two players I mentioned, that's where they would start for me, because you already got Cam Robinson on the roster to play next year at left tackle, and one of those players can be your left guard and then compete for the left tackle the following season with Blake Fisher.
Okay. All right, your turn, Patton.
Well, feels like me and Larry on the same page, of course. Um, Calvin Banks is my guy. That's the guy I'm pounding the table for. If that's my only pick, if I have multiple picks, I would still go with him first. Um, I'm heads over heels with Matthew Golden. I feel like in this offense, he can do no wrong. Even though we don't know what the offense will consist of, but I feel like he's such a dynamic player. It just works. You make it work. Also, Luther Burden, man, like Vandross. Can't go wrong with Vandross. If Vandross doesn't have the attitude or issues that these scouts are saying that he does have, by all means, man, you can't go wrong with him either. But if I only got one pick, I'm going to go with Banks. I just feel like he's a guy that will compete. You draft him, bring him in. I'm not saying he's your starter week one or day one, but he will be your starter come week one. You understand? Going through camp, preseason, you got to get his feet wet. By week one, I expect him to be your starting left tackle. My expectations. Now, I do have a question for Larry. Josh Simmons. Barring the injury, he would have been my top pick for his tackle. I like him more than Banks. The reason why I've steered away from him is because the ACL. That's a very, very difficult injury for a rookie coming into the league that I already have, which means that he tore it in October. So we looking at if you draft him or whoever drafts him, you got a potentially all-pro perennial player that's going to have to sit on the shelf that can't help you out immediately. And I'm kind of, even when we drafted Stingley, I'm one of those guys that want to sauce over Stingley for the simple fact that this guy was injured. He's injury prone. So I kind of want my guys to come in healthy, not as a big problem. Not having an injury problem, let me say that. But just to answer your question though, Cal, hey man, Banks.
Nitty, who would you want? Like if we draft this person, you walk away from the draft and say, "Hey, man, I'm good. A+. Let's roll. We finna get it." What you think, Nitty?
I'm gonna say I gotta go with Banks too, man. The lineman, because it would let me know that we got a staple on the line, and that the rest of the line should follow suit, because what we looking at right now is a window. You know what I'm saying, with the Texans, and we don't know what this team is gonna look like 3-4 years from now. Like we can say that we want to keep everybody, but man, we know how this business goes in the NFL, and we're not gonna be able to keep everybody. So I think we have a window of about 3 to 4 years right now with the team how we have it. So I think if we get those type of pieces, that's why I said this could end up being a boring draft to a lot of people, because it might not be a lot of players that people would want to see. But I think that we draft a lineman, and I want to put or if we went with a wide receiver like Golden or like Burden, I'd be happy about that too, because I know that in the later rounds we probably still are gonna attack that offensive line, especially if a lot of those linemen drop in the draft, because guards, I don't really just see a lot of people talking about certain guards going high in the draft that has the possibility of dropping to 25, and I think that's why a lot of people are mocking
Donovan
line.
Jackson.
Huh?
Donovan and Gray Zabo from North Dakota State.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they are tackle guard. Those are versatile guys, but the only true solid guard that has the chance of going in the first round will be Booker. And I got a second round grade on him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Booker numbers. I'm not big on Booker.
I mean, as far as what I seen on tape, I didn't see nothing exciting And I know they showing his highlights, but it just looked like you'll have a. I mean, he's not a bad player. You have a solid guard, and that'll be better than what we've had. So I wouldn't be mad if the Texans picked him at 25 though. Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah.
Kind of question that pick. You know what I'm saying? I'd
Hey,
be like,
you know what? Hey man, fuck it. Go ahead, draft Grant, man.
Grant,
Fuck it.
Kenneth Grant. Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
think
draft a 2-down player in the first round either.
Hey, I'm being biased. Fuck it.
I think with Kevin Banks, from the looks of it, that we're definitely going to have to move high up in the draft, which is going to cost us, first round swap and possibly a second rounder this year.
let me ask y'all this though.
And
I
something
give it
next
to you
year
first
too.
round next year.
Let me ask you this though,
Second
Cam.
and a third.
Are you scared? Do you go in this draft with that with the next year's first rounder in your back pocket as far as trade bait and to be able to move up in this draft and to be able to move how you want to move? Do you think Casario has that in his in his back pocket? Like, hey, I'm willing to trade a first rounder from next year or something like that.
You do it now. Yes.
No, I
Yeah,
wouldn't because
I think so.
you always want to, like, unless you're the Rams that won a Super Bowl and say F them picks, I get it. But you want to be able to go into a draft and have some type of chips on the table to will and deal with. When you go into a draft without a first round pick, it's hard. And even just to get into a first round to get something that you want, you have to give up stuff that you didn't even anticipate trying to give up. So if you swap first round picks this year and you give up maybe a second round pick or something like that this year, that's the farthest I'm going. I'm not swapping first or second and one of my thirds or next year's second to just get one player. I feel like that your draft scouting room should be better than to say this one guy is worth more than a swap that we're going to get at 25, the number 58 pick, and then a number 2 pick next year. Like, those are some high premium ass picks just for one guy. And I think that when it comes to linemen, I think here's the thing. This is what drives me crazy about Texans fans, that we had such a bad year on the offensive line that I've heard so many people talk offensive line that really didn't know what the hell that they were talking about. That they were just ready to wipe out everybody out of the room because they think everybody is bad. And I was talking to this guy today, and we was talking about the draft. And he was like, yeah, man, they should have just wiped out everybody. I said, really? I say, well, remember last year? Well, no, CJ first year when he came in, and I think his first 2 games, if I'm not mistaken, I think he got sacked 11 times. His first 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. And there was injuries. That was Kendrick Green playing because Kenyon got hurt. I think Patterson was in there. I think Titus Howard was hurt.
Broke his hand.
We had a bunch of backup. Do y'all know from game 3? So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for 5 games straight. CJ was not sacked not one time. So when you think about that,
Fant was out there, man.
When you think about that, it lets you know that it's more of a scheme, and it's less of he's drafted in the first round, so he can play. If he was drafted in the 5th or 6th round, then he's not going to be good. It's a scheme, man.
Yep.
It's really a scheme, and I think that if you bring these guys in, they buy in, just like coming in. What was that today? Just getting acclimated, playbook, getting ready, make sure they get in their cardios, all that shit. Like, bro, I think it's not as difficult as people think, And so if the Texans don't go, like Patton said, the first two picks of linemen in the first round, that lets me know that whatever they seen on film, and add with their scheme, that they feel like what they have in the building is going to be good enough to protect CJ. Because all we need to do is let CJ run his offense, which that's what it seemed like that they're going to let him do. Get the ball out of his hand and quit on the 7 step drop backs, holding the ball for 3.54 seconds, getting the ball out of your hands. That helps a quarterback and that helps the line a whole lot. So I just think that like this line thing had so many people in a frantic, like just get rid of everybody, just clear the room and bring in everybody brand new and let's get all first, second, third round. Like, no, bro, that's not how it even
Not
goes.
no work like that. If it was that easy, there would be a lot of teams that do that, especially Kansas City, because we see the problems that they have with O-line year after year after year after year.
Yes. Yep, they do.
It's just you just get lucky sometime to be able to get your line to be able to play. Because as you were saying, and first off, I want to say there's some good points that you made there, Cal. I want to say too that it made me think about Shaq Mason, right? And when you look at the type of scheme that Shaq Mason was in New England and going over there to Tampa Bay with Tom Brady, it wasn't what that zone. It wasn't really that. So even he was playing in a scheme that wasn't probably was his first time in his career, and he wasn't successful. And so
Hey, bro, you just said a mouthful, man.
yeah,
You
so
just said a mouthful. He played twice with Tom Brady as a starter, won a ring with it. So
Well, let's
it's
pause right there.
mhm.
We're talking about acquisition on the O line that didn't fit the scheme. O line coach that didn't have experience with the scheme. So the Houston media did push Casario in his press conference here recently about that. Asked the first person asked, I can't remember who it was. They asked him, "Does you and your scouting staff have a blind spot on O line evaluation?" And then somebody followed up and said, "Are you all going to do something different this year when evaluating O-line talent?"
Yeah.
And Casario just said, "We look at everything." So it touched a nerve on him that, yes, he recognized it just like we recognize it. And those critical fans that look at the gentleman has not acquired enough and the right talent for the O-line. We go back to how he brought in Marcus Cannon. We go back to how he drafted Kenyon Green that didn't work out. He um, brought in Justin Britt, who retired and quit a couple times on him. He brought in Quisenberry to be the center. He brought in highly drafted Juice. That is not, he hadn't played enough to exactly know what he's going to be. He surprised everyone last year and drafted Blake Fisher, which he has a bright future, but it's still out. So fans like me don't trust Casario and his staff to acquire the right O line. So when I say Calvin Banks, that's what I would do. And I'm just a fan like you guys. And yes, I would give that a win if he got him. But Casario really needs to hit on O linemen, or all the good things that he has done can be washed away real quick.
Yep, I really do believe that.
That's
I
fair.
believe that too. I believe that it's not. I don't think it's a science. I just think Nick just been having bad luck with the guys that he's actually drafted. But like you say, does all that go out the window because of who he picked? I mean, with Fisher, because we know that he picked him, and he's gonna be a pretty good dude. And now you have a certain O-line repertoire, certain coaches that you have now that are going to, evaluate guys too now that can say, okay, yeah, I think this guy will be good to the scheme or whatever that we're going to run. So I think, it's still going to be hit or miss, no matter who you have in that position that's going to pull the trigger on or whatever O-lineman. I think it's just going to be a hit or miss type of thing, because I think that what we're going to see, right, is Kenyon Green in Philly next year. We're probably gonna see a different Kenyon Green, and then we're gonna say, okay, the GM that drafted him, number 13, was I mean not number 13, I'm sorry, but 15 is Nick Caserio. And so will we say, okay, he evaluated a bad O lineman then? No, it'll just be the scheme and the time in which we had that player. But
Bro,
like
that's a great fucking point.
Yep.
That is a great point, man.
Yeah,
I
but
think
it
that
does
what we
us good.
I think that what
No,
we
it does us no good, but it lets you know that
Pro Bowler.
scheme and coaching makes more than like to just put it on Nick Caserio, because that whole entire scouting room doesn't just consist of like Caserio. It's like you got guys, they probably about 10 deep when they go on like the offensive side. And you got guys that can like, oh, they good at offensive scouting, offensive defensive line scouting. But
Mhm.
there's a collective, and when they go in and they get a vote. And when they make that final vote, it's not because Nick Caserio is watching more film and he just have the keen eye to go and draft. The guys that really deserve the credit, we would never know their names, but it's a collective of guys. And I
Mhm.
just think that when the scheme does not fit the guy's talent, and that guy becomes a quote unquote bust, then we're like, hey man, this general manager don't know what he does. Now, if Kenyon Green goes over there and start to ball out the way that he did in high school at Atascocita, Texas A&M, and go over there and be a Pro Bowler and turn out to be an All Pro, we can't say, uh, yeah, the Texans, they just really screwed up and just let a good guy go. Or are you gonna say is they didn't coach that guy up?
Mhm.
So and then but see, Nick Caserio won't get no credit for that.
Yeah,
Now,
for
if he
actually
goes over
draft.
there and he's out of the league in the next 2 years, okay, just go and chalk it up as that was a failed experiment.
He'll get all the credit for that. Like if he go over there and
Mhm.
flop, they still gonna hang that. Oh, that's Nick Caserio.
Yeah,
But if he go over there and ball out, you won't hear too many people saying, "Hey, man, Nick drafted him, man, and what he thought he was gonna be, he ended up being eventually." But
right.
like,
What you got, Larry? Larry had his finger up. What you wanted to say?
Brandon Brooks went to be a Pro Bowler in Philadelphia, and Rick Smith gets no credit for that. So
I
what
bring
I'm
that up
saying,
all the time. I bring up. I never can remember his name, bro, and I'm glad you brought it up. Brandon,
Hmm.
he actually did it. He was good for us though, but it's just that he got into it with Bill O'Brien. He wasn't feeling
Right,
how Bill O'Brien came in and took all the lockers. I mean, took all the accolades down off the wall and took the
right. Yeah,
decals off the helmet and stuff. He was like, "Hey, you gonna earn to even be able to play with the decal on the side of your helmet."
right.
Hey,
Yeah.
I know it was a lot of us, including myself, thought that was the best move. Like, man, make the team, what I'm saying, hard pause. But I was
I
like,
hated that shit. I
nah,
hated that shit.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought that we needed that type of, because we was kind of soft during that time, bro. Like we was a soft team, bro. Like it. Let's just be honest. And so I thought at the time that it was gonna make us a better squad. I thought it was gonna, hey, we gonna be dogs now. and it didn't. It actually broke the team up. That's why Dre ended up eventually leaving and all of that stuff, bro. I just think it just wasn't good for the team, man. And that's why
Also,
Brandon did leave, though.
I also want to point out, Cal, you said we'll never know who was making that decision. That's quite possible. But if we got good people in the building, yeah, other teams will know and they will be trying to hire them. That's one of my concerns about Nick Casario's staff is he don't have an assistant GM. He don't have enough high level people to challenge what he doing to take them to the next level. Now he's done a good job over the last 2 years, but you could always be better. I also blame D'Amico on his coaching staff for not having a former head coach on his staff to help him with game management, time management, those kind of things on his staff as well. So both of them need more experts in the building more than they need bodies in the building.
Yep.
Yeah, I can rock with that.
I definitely can concur. Like I said, man, I just think that, having a competent team now, all the way around, just, in the window that we in right now, I just feel like it's, we'll be able to tell by this draft, which like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it. It's a new OC. So this is going to be an offensive draft. If we see defense, it's going to be because, D'Amico done stamped his foot and said, look, I want this person right here. You know what I'm saying? And they just, you're going to see some defense interject in certain places and certain rounds or whatever. But predominantly, I think that it's just going to be an offensive draft because I don't know if we look at what the Rams run, I know we're not going to run the exact same thing, but it's going to be similar. And so there's certain players. And one thing I do know about a Rams offense is that the receivers are blockers. They have to be voluntary blockers in the run game, and especially and yeah, I think that I don't know if we have that on the team. I know Kurt, he just coming off of a what did he hurt his collarbone?
Yeah, I believe he broke his collarbone about mid-season.
Yeah, last year. So I don't know how good of a blocker. Maybe he got some steel up in there. You know what I'm saying, and that's gonna help him out. But I know that you have to be a willing blocker. Nico doesn't. Nico hasn't had a problem with that. But like I say, we'll see, and that's why I say I wouldn't be mad if we picked a certain wide receivers because those wide receivers look like they can handle that job. But other than that,
I got a question for Patton.
What's the question?
Patton, did you listen to CJ press conference? I didn't hear the whole thing, but I heard snippets of it on 610. It's something I wanted to ask you about that.
Bits and pieces.
Did you hear part when he said that when he was talking about Gerard Johnson and how Kaylee is going to give him more freedom to call plays and the way and CJ pointed out that the New England LA offense is something that he did in college. And he was talking about how Gerard understands me. See, when I heard that, I was like, that's a young 21-year-old quarterback that's impressionable. Like, see, y'all gotta understand, CJ went from California, not having his daddy in his life, went straight to the Midwest. He went from palm trees to snow, didn't know anybody, and then had to go there and earn his position. And then now he's coming down to the dirty South, and he has this encounter with Bobby Slowick. And he's like, man, I'm just trying to do what's, I know my skill set, but I got a guy that's over me that's not allowing me to do me. And so when he says, I talked to Kaylee, Kaylee's like, I'm going to let you do you. And he'll have full control over the offense. And he was talking about him and Gerard Johnson. So I'm asking draft guard. Draft guard, how do you see that this offense is going to unfold for CJ, and how can it be exponentially better than his rookie year?
So rookie year CJ was very phenomenal. Took the league by storm. It's easy to catch people off guard when they don't know what to expect. Year two, we know what to expect. Bobby failed CJ, the offense, the team, the organization, the city, by not changing up things or allowing him to change up things. Bobby really took the Gary Kubiak approach with no audible. Whatever I call is the play. That's the play. Go make it work. With Kaylee, from what CJ was saying, there will be at the line audibles. You know, and with that, think about it. I'm on the sideline. I gave you a play. You're on the field. You can see what they're running. I can see it too, but you are the quarterback. You see it better than I see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know that this guy's from the blitz. Change the play. Move the protection. Add somebody to the block. Hey, you chip block. We're up over here. With Bobby, like CJ, a lot of his sacks came from those problems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for, statistically, if they ever add weapons, protection, this could be CJ's year statistically. And I mean yards, touchdowns, and a low number of interceptions. When I said low number, I mean single digits.
Single digits is always the target. Yeah.
I give you a number. I say 5.
Okay.
And that's being nice.
So Larry, you heard that press conference, or you heard what I just said? How do you think if CJ is given the keys from Kaylee and him and Gerard Johnson, you know, is able to go out there and do their thing? And I mean, CJ clearly said that these offenses is something that he ran in Ohio State and he always wanted to do, and he loves Matt Stafford, likes the New England offense, and he's like, hey, this is something that I want to do. How do you think that, CJ is going to, progress? Like last year he regressed, not to any, like not to the full fault of him because he wasn't protected. But if he's protected, how do you feel, Larry, that his year could end up?
His year end up. Let me answer it this way. If CJ is coming to the line, they know her huddle, they're playing fast pace, and he is calling plays at the line, then yeah, we about to do something. But if CJ break the huddle, he coming under center and he calling out 50 is the mic, 46, all this stuff. 50 is the mic. Then we playing that New England stuff. He is not Tom Brady, but can he be Matthew Stafford? Yeah. Um, so I am ready for CJ to have a good year. Last year with the weapons, I thought he would hit that 5K. And I think he can if they come out pushing the tempo, spread, calling the offense, moving the tempo. I just don't want to see any of the stench from Foxborough.
So Nitty, when you watched the New England offense in Tom Brady heyday,
Yeah, let it go, Larry. Let it go, man.
yeah, but this is what I'm gonna ask Nitty, and then this is what I want to see what he remember. When you watch Tom Brady in Foxborough, I can remember Tom Brady lining up and shotgun probably about 85-90% of the time. I don't remember Tom Brady up under the T.
98%.
Yeah. So that's what CJ is good at. So my thing is, when you line up under center and you taking the ball directly from the center, and when you turn one way, you took away 50% of the vision from the field. You dropped back 5 yards, and now that other side that you was blinded to, now
Mhm.
you have to see how it came into fruition. Like what patterns are they running? Because you know what they're running, but you can't see it.
Mhm.
And when Tom Brady was his most successful, he was in shotgun, and I could see the whole entire field. So I don't get caught up into the Tom Brady New England offense, but I look at what CJ was able to do at Ohio State. So Nitty, I'm asking you if CJ is lining up 85, 95% behind, in shotgun,
Mhm.
how great of a year that you think he can have because he's able to see and then he's able to call his own plays also and audible. So how do you feel how successful he can be in your
But
opinion, Nitty?
what I've said on the show plenty of times that a lot of the times that people will go to talking about, hey, I'm not really too fond of the whole New England thing, and that offense is because when people have took it to different places and put certain quarterbacks in this situation and in this offense, it's been less success than actual success. So people tend to look down on it. It didn't work with us with Bill O'Brien at first. It kind of played against what Deshaun Watson was actually good at. um but I will say this though, that offense, when you can get somebody who's good and has the attributes to actually shine in that offense and can put the ball anywhere on the field, man, that's a dangerous offense because it actually runs on a whole lot of picks.
Mhm.
Um, to get players open, it's almost to where like other defenses hate to play an offense like that. And I think that CJ in that offense can put up some major numbers. He can have 30 close to 40 touchdowns in an offense like that, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Because if you give him the power that they talking about giving him, then man, I think we see CJ even better than what he was in his rookie season, because
Right.
in his
I
rookie
agree.
season, no matter what, he was a rookie. You know what I'm saying? And now
Right.
this is going to be his third, year coming into the league, and I just
Yeah.
think that it's just going to be crazy, man. I think we're going to see a
Mhm.
more polished CJ. I think last year in the playoffs, it spoke to us about a new CJ that I think that we're going to see, and that CJ is I think he's going to use his legs more. I think he's going to be more should I say brandish. He's going to be more of a in your face type of quarterback, and I believe giving him that kind of responsibility with his team is just going to make him like the team better. So
Mhm.
I'm for it. I think running that New England offense, like I say, true enough, there's a lot of quarterbacks that done failed. But look at what Stafford has done. He's won a Super Bowl because he can put the ball anywhere on the field, and we already know what CJ can do.
Yeah. Hey, what you got in the comment section? Because I see something that's kind of interesting. Brandon, shout out to Brandon, number one fan, bro. Love him. And we got paid off in here, and you know,
Yeah, he say fix the
Peyton
run.
is on the show, and like, come on, man, I gotta love that guy, man. You gotta love Larry, bro.
Hey, he
That
say
boy is contributing double time, man. Love that
overtime,
shit.
man. He say, Brandon say fix the run game and you open things up for CJ. See, that's what that offense is, and I think Mixon can run good out of he
Hey,
showed that
hold on. That boy know what I'm about to say. Oh, Mario Hampton. He knew I was about to say that.
Bruh. I'm gonna close this laptop, bro.
I just tweeted fan that nobody picked up on. CJ said we did a lot of the same things at OSU. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like if you put him in that type of comfortable situation where you know what I'm saying, especially if and you know what, I don't know, nobody never says it because nobody thinks that he's gonna be it there at 25 like that. But if we able to get the guy from OSU as a wide receiver, that would be like a, you know what I'm saying, a A+ too.
Yeah.
The wide receiver, what's his name? Emegma.
Black.
Ibuka, yeah,
Ibuka, yeah. If we was to get
yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying, that would be like a glove fit. You know what I'm saying, for what they do.
You know what I heard today when and this is the thing. I know this has been such a great show, man. We almost at 2 hours, and
oh yeah,
once again,
we got 274 people in here right
once again, shout out to the doc coming in, man. Like I said, I wanted him in here pre and post. We had such a great show the last time, man. We had to have him back. The door is open. I'm quite sure Patton and Nitty feel the same way, man. We just love your input on what you bring in, and calling us. Hey, when you gave me that ghetto boy shout out, bro, I really love that shit. So, but
you can't bring it to the app, but y'all, but you know,
yeah,
I'm itching to get off because it's, you know.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah,
I did shout out to my golf buddies. I sent them the link. Son Miller up in here representing. I appreciate y'all supporting.
Oh, that's what's up.
But yeah. So like you said though, man, we've been on here almost 2 hours, y'all. We're about to get ready to get up out of here. If it's anything that my co-host want to bring to the table before we get out.
Hey, look, if we wouldn't got Dr. Payton on here, man, y'all don't know it, man. But I was gonna start the Patton and Payton show, man. Hello, draft talk 24/7, man. Hey, we be talking draft in the middle of the season. I can't wait to after this off season.
Damn, Larry is a golfer. Let's link up.
Oh man,
already stressing. I'm playing Saturday at Gus Wortham with my group. We got about 25 going out at 9 in the morning at Wortham.
Ooh. That's one thing I can't do is play golf.
Oh man, no, I'm good at miniature golf.
Y'all need a ship.
And if y'all playing miniature golf, hey, I'm there and I'm good at that, bro. I'm talking about that windmill. Hey, you can't see me at that windmill, bro. I'm just letting y'all know.
You can come and putt for me because that's my worst part of my game.
Hey, now I ain't gonna lie, that's some high stress, like for real, like because you just barely tapping something. I don't know. You gotta be your trigonometry, your geometry. You gotta have one of these when you're out there putting, man, for real. You gotta be able to.
Brandon, Brandon is a super villain, bro.
What do you say? Oh, to my alter ego button. For real.
Say Larry Pudding.
Oh shit!
That's word.
Gus Wortham is very underword. Love that going.
Hey man, dog. This is why you love Brandon, bro. Like,
Larry. I mean, Brandon is the comic relief, man. For real.
But help me, Brandon. I need to average a 2-putt instead of a 3 or 4-putt. No, this is great, fellas. And you know it's draft season, so Patton had invited me and Cal invited, and so I had to show up again. And as much as y'all have me and I can make it on time, I'd love to be a part of it because this is therapy. This is an extension of the barbershop talk. Like I said, you guys are so real, and like Bill Cosby said back in Do It Again, they from off the corner. So they
for real, man. That's exactly what we try to bring to the table. And I know Friday is gonna be off the chain because it's gonna be you know what I'm saying, we already know what done went down in the first round. And hopefully it'll be during if we go in 7 o'clock, it'll be during the second round. You know what I'm saying? So
Friday's 2 and 3,
yeah, so we'll be able to be going live during the actual draft, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. Like Larry put up earlier, man, y'all make sure that y'all like, share, and subscribe, man, whether that's Twitter, whether that's Facebook, whether that's Instagram or whether that's YouTube, man, it helps out the channel a lot, man. It helps us grow this thing that we've been doing for almost a year and some months now,
Right.
going into this 2025-26 season. And yeah, it's about to be off the chain, man. I think that
Yeah,
we gonna have a good draft, y'all. I just feel
for
it.
sure.
Man. I feel Friday that the show gonna be off the chain. I think we're gonna be talking about some stuff that happened, and you know what I'm saying. Hopefully, we won't be talking about the first pick being made if Nick trade out of the first round.
Yeah, because Friday is going to be
Second round.
round
2 and 3.
second and third.
Yeah, second and third.
So if we don't trade it, so we'll get 3 picks in on that Friday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if we trade, then Friday we'll be talking about the first pick. But
Right.
I don't see us trading out of there, but it depends who's on the board, man. I trust them guys over there on Kirby as much as I can right now, and I'm pretty sure that y'all do too, man. And that was if that was everything, man, we about to get ready to get up out of here. We
Yeah.
appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight, man. We got a lot, like I said, it's a lot of y'all really tuned in, man. Right now we're at 287. And we appreciate y'all. I want to give y'all a hand. We can't do this without y'all. But the crazy thing is, we probably would do this if we was on here just by ourselves too, though. That's how much we love this team. But we appreciate all 287 of y'all that tuned in tonight. Shout out everybody in the bull ring, man, that come in it. You know what I'm saying? Let me go down the list like we always do about this time. We got DQ in the building. We got Stressings in the building, man. We got, even though Larry Payton was on the show, he was in the bull ring. You know what I'm saying? We got
double time, Larry. Yeah.
We got that boy Brandon, man. We got Allen in the building, man. We got Willie Jackson.
Yeah.
Let's keep on going. We got 713 Sports, man. Ruben.
Shout out Ruben.
Most definitely, man. Let's see. We got Corey Barrett with a comment up in here. Shout out Corey. And shoot, man, that's about everybody right there, man.
You shouted out DQ? Was it DQ?
Yeah, DQ was one of the first people who
right.
What's the name? That's one of the first names I shouted out. But other than that, though, man, we appreciate y'all, man, and we will see y'all Friday. Make sure y'all tune in, man. We'll have some
fun. And keep the prayers coming in for Mama Patton. I know she had that blessing, so like make those prayers, keep those prayers coming in. So.
And my wife too, man. Make sure y'all keep my wife.
Most definitely.
Most definitely been working, man. My wife is her treatment's going good, and
that's great.
Appreciate y'all and everybody who continues to pray and keep us in y'all prayers, man. And we thank y'all for that. You know what I'm saying? As this Texans family thing go, bro, y'all already know, man. We just hoping, man, that this first round go right, man, and I believe it will, man. We'll see y'all Friday with some good news, man. I'm counting on it. We'll see y'all Friday, man. Texans on 3. We out of here.